Hi, I'm here for my first ever book haul, talking to you about the books that I have bought or received over the last season, the spring season. I have 12 books to talk to you about today, so let's get into them. And the first one of these books is special because this is a self-published poetry book that my friend, oh my gosh, there's stuff all over it. This is a self-published poetry book that my friend Neah has published. This is a book of sonnets about growing up by the ocean and maturing while always being around it, I guess, and Neah's own reflections on living in the California coast. He does write in the sonnet form, but it's a very modern kind of language used in the sonnet, and so if you like sonnets or you like poetry, I highly recommend giving this a try. It also has beautiful photography with each sonnet, and so it's only about half as long as it looks. And yeah, Neah's a great writer, so I would highly recommend this. So now we have that out of the way, I just wanted to give him more of an immediate shout out because I want to support Neah. But this pile is books I have received as gifts over the course of this season, and this pile is books that I have bought myself. So let's get started. First of those books that I received is The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. This book was given to me by my boyfriend Mason for our 2-year anniversary. I am really excited to read this book. This is a military fantasy focusing on a revenge plot. I don't know much more about it than that, but that's all I need to know. I'm really interested. This gets rave reviews from a lot of people whose reviews I trust and have gotten really great reviews from in the past, and so I'm really excited to give this one a try. The next 2 books I received are from my mom, and they are both from the same collection of classics. The first one is Persuasion by Jane Austen. This is a English library edition of Persuasion. I want to collect classics in these editions because I love them. They're really minimalist. They always have the 2-tone colors with the really minimalist designs, and they're always floppy, and so I'm really excited to have this as my first one in the collection. And then I also got from her Lady Audley's Secret in this exact edition. If you don't know, Persuasion is a second chance romance about a girl named Anne Elliot who is persuaded to break off her engagement with a man who has less money than her, and 8 years later, Persuasion follows them reuniting. Lady Audley's Secret is a sensation novel about a man named Robert Audley who, on a visit to his uncle and his aunt's house, Robert Audley's friend goes missing from the house, and this is about Robert Audley figuring out where his friend went. And yeah, that is that. I read that book for class and I really liked it, and so I really wanted a pretty edition of it, and I'm really glad that that's the edition that I got. And then the final book I received this spring from another person is The Promise of Blood by Brian McClellan, and this came from my friend Udi, so thank you, Udi. This just came. I didn't even know this was happening, but it happened, and so now it gets featured in a book haul. I don't really know what this is about other than there's a magic system that involves snorting gunpowder, and I think it's gunpowder, I don't know, and Brandon Sanderson says it's just plain awesome, and Udi really likes it, including the romance that's going down in that one. Moving on to the stack of books that I bought myself, the first one that I pre-ordered, I'm not happy about it, is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. This is the prequel to The Hunger Games about President Snow, and I just don't like it. I didn't like this book. I gave it 1 star. I'm not happy that I pre-ordered it. It probably won't be in my collection for very much longer. I've only kept it so I could literally just talk bad about it. I have a full review for this, so I'll link that in the cards and in the description if you would like to see it. The next book that I bought myself, it might actually balance out with that because I'm so excited for this book. I have not read this book yet, and I am really excited to. It is the 3rd book in the Stormlight Archive, Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson. I give the same synopsis for this series over and over, so like if you have seen any of my videos, you probably know what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna try and keep it short this time. I'm gonna say a different pitch for this book. This is a high epic fantasy series taking place on a world called Roshar, which is torn up by its own contradictions. This is a world where the people thrive and survive as giant high storms come and wreck the landscape, and everything is adapted to live within this devastating place, and yet their source of currency and light also comes from the storms. This is a world that uses magical artifacts but doesn't seem to have any magic of its own, at least when we start the series. anymore. The magic seems to have gone, and this is a world where the greatest heroes of legend are also the greatest traitors. And so we follow 3 different people all navigating their own parts in this world. We follow a person who's enslaved named Kaladin. We follow a lying girl named Shalon who's pretending to be a scholar, and we follow a high prince, Dalinar, who is more in tune with the world than the rest of the nobles and is trying to desperately end this war that is taking place over the loss of their king. It's fantastic, it's emotional, it's beautiful. I love it. I cannot recommend it to you highly enough. Next, I have A Heart So Fierce and Broken. This is also a sequel. I gave this sequel 3.5 stars. This is the sequel to A Curse, Dark and Lonely by Brigid Kemmerer. This series is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. The first book is anyway. It follows a girl named Harper who is taken into another realm in order to help the prince and his people out from under a curse. Pretty typical Beauty and the Beast retelling. I loved it. This one was alright. Next, I got Dear Haiti, Love Alaine by Maika Moulite and Maritza Moulite. This is a contemporary novel, a YA contemporary about a girl named Alaine who is sent to Haiti after causing some trouble at her school, and there she learns a lot about her culture, her heritage, her family's past, the secrets her family keeps, and herself. And this is a pretty heavy book. I will leave some trigger warnings down in a comment below so you can check that out. They're mostly mild. But yeah, I just thought that I wanted to mention that. This seems like it's going to be a very light and fun book. It is, at times, it can be light. I will say that. But I also don't think that it's actually as light as it looks if you were to just look at the cover. The next book that I got, I am actually currently still reading, and that is Daughters of Enri by Reni and Amayo. I am so psyched about this book. I am loving it so far. This is a Nigerian-based fantasy about two twins who were separated at birth, who are both the last remnants of the dead gods of Enri. Listen to that synopsis, look at this cover, buy yourself a copy, read it. It's already fantastic, and I'm only like 50 pages in. This could go bad, but I really don't expect that. It's already so good. And the next book that I got is Meet Cute Club by Harbon. This is a self-published adult romance book about 2 men, one of which is named, what are their names? Jordan. Jordan is a man who really loves romance novels and runs a book club based around them, where he talks with his friends about all of the romance novels that they consume together, and it's called Meet Cute Club. He doesn't expect to actually meet cute with anyone, and definitely not with the guy who really acts kind of snobby when he sees Jordan buying all these mass market paperback romances. But Rex, the bookseller who kind of is snobby, kind of decides that he wants to learn more about why Jordan defends these books so passionately, and joins Meet Cute Club and learns a lot about romance, the genre, and the real thing. That was a great synopsis on the fly. I just have to congratulate myself for that. Oh my goodness. Okay. And the final book I want to talk to you about is this edition, the Penguin Red edition of Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. This is the final Jane Austen novel that I have to read. I really love these editions. I love the white. I love how cute and fun they are. They're out of print. I get them used. I love the ink. I think it matches this vibe of the story really well. This is a story about a girl who reads a lot of gothic novels and kind of thinks she's in one, and it apparently is classic Jane Austen-esque satirical humor, and I am super excited to read it. This was a book haul. I hope you liked it. If you liked this sort of video, if you liked book hauls, let me know. If you want to read any of these books based off of my synopses or something else, let me know. If you have read any of these books, to let me know, hype me for the ones I haven't read, and we can talk about the ones I have. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.